Hi, this is Mike from thesubstream.com, and this is an episode of Watch This Instead for the week ending Friday the 18th of June. So there's this movie that comes out today. It's a special, bi-generic, 2 genres in 1. It's a supernatural western. Anyways, the movie is called Jonah Hex, and I'm going to spoil some things when I talk about my impressions of the film, but I have to because I need to communicate to you how intensely you need to not see this movie. So this movie has a demon cowboy who has the power to talk to the dead. He puts his hand on them, they wake up, and they tell him things about things. The demon cowboy got this power because he almost died and then got saved by some Indians. And he almost died because he got burnt up by a Confederate general who used to be his general. The demon cowboy was in the Confederate Army, but he didn't support slavery. He just didn't like the government telling him what to do. The Confederate general was mad at the demon cowboy because the demon cowboy killed the Confederate general's son, who he was best friends with, in an incident that went completely unexplained in the film because the film at 81 minutes was probably running long and they needed to cut up the backstory. So the Confederate general, to get revenge on the demon cowboy, lights the demon cowboy's family on fire and makes him watch them burn up. And then he burns up the demon cowboy's face and brands his initials into his face. And that makes the demon cowboy so mad, even though it gave him talk to the dead powers, that the demon cowboy heats up a hatchet in the fire and then tries to burn/cut the original burn off his face. But he just ends up mangling it even worse and puts a hole in it where whiskey falls out of the side of it. The Confederate general is played by John Malkovich, and they chose for some reason to make him look exactly like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, especially in scenes where he's talking to a fancy lad played by Wes Bentley, who apparently works for the government. He just has dinner with this Wes Bentley character who has really terrible, terrible teeth and goes like that. Anyway, Will Arnett, who played Job on Arrested Development, is a soldier who works for the President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant, who needs to go find Jonah Hex, the demon cowboy, to help him stop the Confederate general, who has put together a super weapon which was invented by Eli Whitney, who we are reminded in the film kicked off the Industrial Revolution. And anyways, he invented a giant octo-cannon, which is mounted on a boat that shoots 8 giant metal balls that land in the street and then shoots 1 glowing orange ball which lands near the originally fired metal balls, and then it makes them explode. The Confederate generals found Eli Whitney's weapon, put it on a boat, and he's going to blow up Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July and ruin Ulysses S. Grant's whole plan. Jonah Hex needs to stop him. One time he almost dies and then he pukes up a crow, and then he gets power over crows somehow. Also, Michael Shannon, who's a great actor, is on screen for 4 seconds playing the leader of a gladiator circus that has a snake man in it who is really skinny, knows kung fu, and drools acid. Completely unconnected to anything else, but kinda neat. The demon cowboy has an eye in his throat, and he also has the power where every time he almost dies, he gets to have an imaginary fight with people that he's angry with in a big open area made of red clay. And at the end of the film, the demon cowboy walks out of President Ulysses S. Grant's office, the Oval Office, having turned down the president's offer to make him Sheriff of America. The whole movie, the whole Jonah Hex demon cowboy epic, is only like 81 or 82 minutes long, including credits, which gives a rate really of about 1.2 retarded things per minute. And that RPM rate is really only topped by the 1996 adaptation of The Island of Dr. Moreau. The one that starred Marlon Brando, the one where he didn't bother to learn any of his lines, he just had an earpiece and the director said, "Hey, say this," and he went blah, 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 and had a big metal hat that he filled with ice to keep him cold, while Val Kilmer went off the deep end in the background. So you can watch that instead, but what you should probably actually watch if you want to watch a good movie is the classic John Wayne, one-eye, Rooster Cogburn classic solo genre western, True Grit. It's being remade right now as we speak by the Coen brothers, who directed Josh Brolin in No Country for Old Men. Josh Brolin is going to star in the remake of True Grit, and Josh Brolin also stars as a certain demon cowboy named Jonah Hex in Jonah Hex, which is a movie that stars Josh Brolin that you should not watch.